Explosive, macadocious, potent, braggadocious, vocalist, going postal, toast to both.
So, louder? All right, here we go. I started keeping bees about 3 years ago, and when I started, a neighbor came over and was pretty concerned. He had a young child that he was concerned around protecting them. He didn't know anything about bees, so he assumed that they were dangerous. Honeybees. We're talking honeybees here. So about a year passes, and really, I should say, even now, after these few years, I'm really not a beekeeper, I'm a bee haver. They just kind of stick around, and I cross my fingers. I do some stuff, but it's a big learning curve with keeping bees. So about a year passes when I get the hive going. Everything's looking really good, strong colony, really happy about that. And then one day the neighbor, he's starting to feel confident in the fact that I keep bees, nothing's happened. I've given him honey, that's important. So he comes over and he asks me, if I could come over and check something out for him at his house later on in the day, because apparently he's seen some bees kind of hovering around his house and he wants me to come and investigate. So I have something going on. Later in the day, I'm getting ready to go over there, and I notice in my backyard this big black cloud of bees swirling in my yard, and I'm like, shit, they're swarming! So not only that, but they're swarming and they're making literally a beeline directly to his house and under a roof. It's like roof attachment thing. They're going in his roof, okay? So I'm like, when bees swarm and they get stuck somewhere, you can't really claim if they're yours or not, because there's a lot of bees around here, so you don't know if it's your swarm or not. But in this case, it was so obviously my swarm going in his roof. So I went to go tell him. He happened to be in his backyard, and he had no idea, because he's not accustomed to looking at this stuff. He had no idea that there's this cloud above me. So I walk up to him, and he's just looking straight at me. I'm thinking, for sure he sees the bees, but he doesn't. And his name's Bern. Bern, I know where those bees are coming from. Well, where are they? They're coming from my yard. They're actually right above us. He freaks out. But he just looks at me, these big eyes, and he just looks at me and he goes, I'm really nervous right now. What do I do? And I was like, hey, I'm trying to explain it, kind of get him off the ledge, be like, bees are cool. When they swarm, they're actually the safest because they've guzzled a bunch of honey. They're really docile. They just want to protect the queen. They're just moving. We're good. And I put my hand up to prove it. I could almost feel them. They were so close to me. And we're good. So there they go. We're good, except for the fact that they're now going in his roof. So I explained the situation. I'm going to have to look. I'm going to have to try to see. So I tried different things to see in it. You can't see in a roof, okay? I was just trying to address this in a step by step here with him. So you can't see in a roof. So the only way to get them out is to either use a pesticide, which there was no way in hell I was going to do that because these are my bees, or you can try to smoke them out, pump some smoke in there and scare them off, depending on how situated they are in their new place. I tried everything. So just fast forward, 2 days later, I'm still trying everything. He's being super patient, but we realize if we want to get the bees out, and by now, as I've explained things to him, he really wanted to preserve the queen and he wanted to preserve the colony. Every night of this drama, he was going online and learning more about bees and honeybees and colony collapse, and he really wanted to spare them. So he allowed me to rip a hole in his roof. He wanted me to, in order to get them out. And I tried. I make a hole. There's no graceful way to do it, really. I had to make a hole in there. I got a roofer. I have a relative. We got a roofer out there. We made a little hole in the roof. And we tried to scoop them out. And by the way, they hadn't just landed there for one day. They had been actually making their way in there for a while. So they had paddles of honey. So, rip a hole. Try to get them out. They don't come out. I resort to doing something like creating my own bee vac. There's a thing called a bee vac. It's basically a shop vac, a modified shop vac. So I try making my own. If you don't make it right, the suction's too strong, which is what happened. So I start sucking them out, and basically it just starts splatting bee guts all over his house. So that's not working either. So I'm really concerned this guy's going to eventually just sue me. He's going to be like, I hate bees, I hate you, and I'm going to sue your ass because they're in my roof. But I find a way, I get them out. I get the queen out, I get all the bees out. I'm covering up his roof again, sealing everything. And he comes up to me, and he's been okay, he's been patient, but he's never looked particularly happy with me. But he comes up to me after all of this, and he's like, basically, when the dust settles from this, I'd like to talk to you because we're thinking about getting bees. Thank you.